So about a year ago, I quit my 9 to 5 corporate, salaried, well-paid data management job. And today I feel like a completely new man. I feel like a different person entirely. My confidence is through the roof. My ability to socialise and articulate myself as I speak to other individuals, and my overall enthusiasm, my energy levels, and my overall mood have been skyrocketing. It's been, as I say, near enough 12 months now, and this time last year I was having daily panic attacks, daily meltdowns, and I was a complete mess. I was a shell of my former self, and it feels great to be back in the world as myself and as present as I can be. Obviously, when you're going through the grips of depression, despair, upset, disappointment, and you feel like you're living somebody else's life, as I did, you start having deep, dark thoughts, thoughts that put you out of action entirely. I literally spent about 6 months in therapy trying to figure out what it was that was causing me to feel certain ways. I've always had OCD tendencies, and during my bout of therapy last year, we came to the conclusion that it would be worth seeking an autism diagnosis for, ASD is what they call it now, autism spectrum disorder, and I'd be the priorly, named Asperger's end of that. And it's completely changed my life, to be honest, because I've found that my life now makes a lot more sense. I used to feel certain ways that my colleagues and my friends didn't really understand or hadn't really experienced themselves. And obviously, when you're going through different bouts of meltdowns and you worry about certain things much more than a sort of neurotypical person would, it's been really nice and eye-opening to have been given that sort of pre-diagnosis. It sort of gives a reason why all through my childhood I experienced panic attack type symptoms. But these panic attacks, which were seemed to be much more intense and physical and visceral than my friends had experienced, made me think that I was some sort of freak or an anomaly. And I've always thought to myself, what's wrong with me? And what is it that's making me experience life in a different way to other people? And so with this upcoming autism assessment, with my newfound knowledge of where certain aspects of my life are coming from, and also from quitting my 9 to 5 corporate office job, which was soul-sucking me on a day-to-day basis, 45 hours a week. It's been a complete transformation for me, and I can only speak for myself, obviously, but I would recommend at least considering chasing money and success. I'd recommend looking at your lifestyle and at the way that you actually want to live your life over the benefits of the monetary value that you can gain. So obviously I've got my friends around me who are all studying different things during their careers. They're all building themselves fantastic lives with flashy cars and bigger houses than I'll probably ever obtain, to be perfectly honest. But if I kept on the trajectory of following somebody else's life and not choosing my own path, I would have ended up back in the gutter, as I was a year ago. So having gone back to a retail environment, it's allowed me to push my conversation, it's allowed me to push myself whenever I'm feeling a little bit off for the day. It's allowed me to gain skills, gain confidence in my own abilities, and become more disciplined in my day-to-day life. With obviously one of the problems with autistic individuals is that they find it hard to self-motivate, or to decide as and when they need to get things done, to do so. So throughout my corporate life, I found it very hard to focus on the task that I had at hand when emails were coming in at me day to day, hour to hour, distracting me from my workflow. And as a result, I had a lot of moments of procrastination, of stillness, of time wasting. And because of that, I never really felt content in my day-to-day working. So even though the job itself was very easy, I almost always was beating myself up over the fact that I couldn't complete the tasks at hand within the certain time frames that I was, that were required. And then when there was a specific strict deadline, I found it really, really hard to pull myself up out of the stillness space that I'd created, to actually, get the job done. And it's a bit of a strange one because obviously I've done a geography degree, so I should realistically, if I was that interested in it, I should be doing something with regards to planning or energy management, as I have done in the past. But in particularly the planning environment, I felt completely and utterly overwhelmed on a day-to-day basis. I found myself competing with my teammates for workloads, which weren't particularly enjoyable to begin with. And it was very much an environment that I had to step away from multiple times an hour. I had to get up from my desk to go to the bathroom because I'd be having essentially mental health crises, like on a hourly basis at least. So this couldn't go on, and luckily enough, COVID came, and the lockdown brought me out of that job, after I'd sort of a few months before declared that I wanted to be out by the September anyway, and it turned out that September the furlough ended and I managed to find a natural way out of it. And obviously COVID was horrendous, so I'm not grateful for what happened during the COVID pandemic, but at least on a personal level, I think the impacts that it brought my life were actually a positive shift. Since then I've gone to work in retail, to and I've discovered a trade, which I've spoken before on this channel about the fact that I service bikes and I enjoy helping people bring their bikes up out the dirt and resurrecting them for them, and that's a part of the entrepreneurial mindset in me as well, because I see everything that I learn as an opportunity to provide others value, and therefore I am and have been running a bicycle repair business on the side for many years now. So when I got back into this other 9 to 5, I found myself going down a really slippery slope with regards to my mental health. I felt like life basically wasn't worth living, because I couldn't see myself doing another 60 years, well 50 years plus, until retirement, and having lived all that time but never actually having achieved what I want to achieve or live on a day-to-day basis as I want to live. Had I just wanted to obtain money and clout and, you know, success in the sort of corporate form or format, I should have really stuck at it, but I was being pulled by the business. I was being pulled by my own desires to get out, and I was being pushed as well by the resultant mental health crisis that I found myself in as a result of not having enough time to spend doing the things that I wanted to do. So fast forward a year down the line to now, I'm looking to drop hours in my retail job in order to build my business to the next level. I've been very successful in the majority of the stuff that I've been doing as an entrepreneur. Obviously, it's a bit of a lonely pursuit. I do have other friends and people that are in similar sort of boats to me. So it's quite nice to occasionally catch up with them and see if we can collaborate on anything. But yeah, I just wanted to make this as a pre-warning to anybody who isn't interested in the corporate way of living, and they want to provide real value and sustenance to those around them, their community, their friends, their family. Think about doing something a bit more basic. Think about changing your lifestyle to suit yourself. I know that the part-time retail job that I've got now is a hell of a lot more flexible than a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job like I had. If you are wanting to build your own business, I think it's worth dropping out of the corporate standing to stand on your own 2 feet. It's definitely been worth it for me, and if it's been worth it for me, it will 100% be worth it for other people out there as well. Thank you. I'll see you next time.